Well, good afternoon, folks. Welcome back to the channel. My name's Lee, your virtual airline pilot, back with you again with another scenery review. The second of this week. Sorry it's all a bit late, but we're kind of a busy week this week. We're in Flight Simulator 2024, and welcome to a very sunny INNSBRUCK Airport in Austria, often known as Kranbitten Airport. Lima Oscar Whiskey India. This is the payware scenery, the version from Inibuilds, specifically built for Flight Sim 2024. This is version 1.01 for the PC version of Flight Sim 2024. There is a version for 2020 available as well. Download comes in at 3.39 gigs and installs at 5.32 gigabytes. As I said, currently available only from Inibuilds, this version. Prices are currently €20.76, which equates to $25.15 US or £17.99 UK. The US and the Euro prices are estimates taken from the UK pound, and they include tax or VAT at 20%, which of course could vary depending on your country of purchase. A very famous and well-known airport among the flight simulator community, INNSBRUCK, listed as a Category C airport, one of the most difficult places to land given it's nearly 2,000 feet above sea level, and as you can see sits among very mountainous terrain. So let's look at the features for this airport as described by Inibuilds. Okay, features. These are the features as listed on the Inibuilds site. We have handmade ground textures with bespoke texture sets for runways, aprons, paths and roads. True-to-life airport landside recreated with custom ground decals, signposts, vegetation, parking barriers and more. Accurately modelled and positioned dynamic airport lighting. Highly detailed models of all airport buildings, objects and surroundings. Up-to-date airport layout reflecting the current real-world location. Level of detail, or LOD, optimization to encourage best possible performance. The use of the latest Flight Simulator 2024 software development kit, or SDK. The features to allow for best optimization and performance possible. Full Inimanager compatibility, allowing easy configuration for best performance on your system. Basically, when you install the scenery via the Inimanager, you can turn things on and off. Bespoke taxi signage as it is in the real world. Various points of interest including the Begiskel ski jump, Christophorus heliport, Innsbruck University Hospital and helipad, Tivoli Stadium and arena, and many more. And for those of you that use GSX, there's an official GSX profile included in the scenery folder and in the Inimanager download. I'll put the link to the actual file should you wish to get it, because I believe it's also on flightsim.to. So there you go, extensive list of features. Now let's look at a little bit of history. Okay, so a little bit of history here about this airport. So INNSBRUCK Airport, Lima Oscar Whiskey India, also known locally as Kranbitten Airport. My apologies, I did say Klagenfurt. It's actually Kranbitten Airport. It's a public use airport owned and operated by Tiroler Flughafenbetriebs. It is the largest international airport in the Tyrol region of Western Austria. It is located approximately 2 miles or 4 kilometers from the center of the city of Innsbruck. The airport, which was opened in 1925, handles regional flights around the Alps as well as seasonal international traffic to further European destinations. During the winter, activity increases significantly due to the high number of skiers traveling to the region. INNSBRUCK Airport served as the base of Tyrolean Airways and Welcome Air until their demise, although the newly established independent technical division, Tyrolean Airways Luftfahrzeuge Technik GmbH, remains at the airport. INNSBRUCK also used to accommodate the head offices of Air Alps. The terminal has no jet bridges. Instead, mobile stairs are used for boarding large aircraft that don't have their own air stairs. The airport can handle aircraft up to the size of the Boeing 767. In February 2017 it was announced that the current passenger terminal, which was inaugurated for the 1964 Winter Olympics, will be replaced with a new, larger facility, construction having begun in 2019. Interesting that this runway length, which we'll go into later, can handle a 767. Innsbruck Airport is well known for having a difficult approach due to the surrounding terrain, prohibiting certain aircraft types from operating at the airport. The approach and descent is a very complicated process with the Alps mountains, creating vicious winds and currents, which pilots have to deal with throughout the process. The airport is classified as a Category C airport, an airport with special difficulties requiring pilots to have special training and be licensed operating into the airport. To captains only landing. Approach or ascent over the eastern end of the runway goes over the inner city at a fairly low altitude. Currently some 19 airlines operate into and out of Innsbruck, some seasonal and some on a charter basis. So there you go, a little bit of detail there about the history. It's a popular airport, difficult place to land, and yeah, so there we go. Okay, so let's look at this runway here and have a look at the navigational aids and see what we've got that will help you get into this airport. Okay, so approaches to runway 26. This has been documented in a recent piece of video from EasyJet, but let's look at this situation. As you can see, you've got the rabbits there, the strobe lights that lead into the runway way ahead of you. On the final approach, the pilot is looking for three things. Firstly, he's looking for this area here. You've got a block of flats. This is the first visual cue that the pilot will be looking for on the approach to runway 26. Secondly, of course, he wants the rabbits. Now they don't, as far as I know in real world, extend as far out as this, but the rabbits are the next thing. And then finally the runway itself, and as you can see there are pappies on the left there. Okay, 6:30 in the morning, so I've lowered the lighting to the early morning to give you the best possible view of the runway situation here at Innsbruck. So the airport operates a single runway, 2608, measuring just 6,562 feet or 2,000 meters, and it's constructed from asphalt. The airport lies in a deep valley and at a high elevation of 1,907 feet, or 581 meters, and sits within the GMT UTC plus 1 hour time zone. Now, with Austria and the UK currently observing daylight saving time, the airport is currently still 1 hour ahead of the UK. So we're looking down the throat of runway 26 here, which features high-intensity runway lighting, high-intensity airfield lighting system, centerline lighting, touchdown zone lighting, the short field light system, which we call the rabbits, and you can see them there, runway end identifier lighting system, and precision approach path indicators on the left side. So at this distance we can't really see if there's touchdown lighting, and it would appear the runway end identifier lighting system is not in the scenery. Let's get a bit closer. So as you can see, runway 26 here, there's no touchdown zone lighting in the scenery, and there's no runway end identifier lights, which should be two white lights flashing either side of the end of the runway here. Basically it denotes the end of the tarmac effectively. So they're missing, and the touchdown zone light is missing, but no real problem. So you've got various approach options here. For this area, you've got the Localizer R approach option, the RNP East approach option, which is an LPV only approach, and the RNP Z approach option. There's no ILS, there's only a localizer, so there's no vertical guidance on that localizer, and essentially there are various step-down checkpoints along the approach, at which point you must basically make a check that you're on the right sort of glide path, and obviously you must be able to see the runway before the final missed approach point. Okay, so that's runway 26. Let's go have a look at the other end, runway 08. Okay, so here we are at the other end, runway 08, which has high intensity runway lighting, centerline lighting, touchdown zone lighting, and precision approach path indicators on both sides. So again, we're missing the touchdown zone lighting. No runway end identifier lights at this end, but you do have two sets of PAPIs for this approach, which is actually more difficult coming in to land this way than it is on the 2.6 approach. So that's all good, except, as I said, we're missing the touchdown zone lighting. Approach options for runway 0 each. You have the RNP Visual Victor approach option and the RNPZ approach option. Finally, the airport does have some unspecified approaches, and they're listed as Localizer DME East, Special Localizer DME East, and the Visual Approach Circle to Land. So pilots, check your charts and decide which one you're going to be using. As I said, it's a tough place to land. So no jetways at this airport, everything's on the stand. So let's go back to the daytime and have a look at the airport properly and see what we're presented with here in this 2024 version from Inibuilds. Well, welcome back folks. It's the daytime just after midday and we are looking west up the valley. To the right is the threshold of runway 08. Thought we would just have a look at this. I've got my settings turned up as much as I dare. I do occasionally, when I load the sim, get the reduced graphics thing and telling me to change my settings, reduce GPU memory or something like that. But anyway, we'll see. I'll do the best I can and show you as much as I can. So here we are looking west up the valley. This is the very end of the airport. As you can see below us, you've got the fence line. And I just thought we would have a look, as you can see, just how beautifully recreated the valley and everything is. And I thought first of all we would go up along the north side and have a look at what's going on there, and then come back airside west again. So here we are, we move across runway 08 threshold. There's the fence line. You can also see the landside roads there and some vehicles going up and down. And you've also got a road here, of course, that's airside. That goes all the way down. So now we're looking east along the valley. Let's move along a little bit more. On the right hand side there you've got the airport proper with the apron and various hangars. According to the chart, there's supposed to be two glider strips up here. So let's see if we can see them, see whether they're created in the scenery. So we've got the odd aircraft parked here and there. And as you can see, there's lots to see here on the north side of the valley. But I can't realistically see any evidence of glider strips. Maybe they're not actually done in the scenery, but you can actually land here. But as you can see, I mean, it looks really, really nice. We go to the very edge, the very eastern end here. There's the fence line again, and you've got an enclosed area with some bits and pieces there that they're building. So scenery's popping in and out, which is a little bit disconcerting, but it's there. And here, look, you've got the roads and you've got street lamps, and it's all pretty impressive, to tell you the truth. So there, as we cross over, there were one or two people down there, which was nice. And once again, it does look good. So now we head west again, and we'll have a look at the airside ramp. Here you can see landside. You've got the fence line to the right. There's some nice detail, to be honest. Just go down a little bit. That, I believe, is the stadion, or the stadium. Again, you've got the fence line. So just slow down a bit here. So this is airside, the main ramp. There's the control tower. There's my aircraft. I haven't yet managed to get my own livery set up in 2024 yet, so I'll have to see. And there you can see as we get closer, the vehicles suddenly get the detail on them. But it looks nice, it really does. Got a Cessna sitting there in the grass. And I mean, to be honest, at the moment it certainly does look better in 2024. Very nice. So let's have a look at the taxiways and some signage. Here we've got blue airfield edge lights, as you can see. And here we're coming, this is one of the exits, exitway alpha, or taxiway alpha as well. And we've got wigwags there. Don't know if they work, because certainly don't seem to be working at the moment. Maybe that's because it's daytime. But a lot of aircraft do the run and then they turn left off the runway, having come in on 26, and they come up this taxiway. Or if they're going out to take off from runway 08, they'll use this taxiway to exit onto the runway and do a backtrack. But as you can see here, the concrete, the texturing, even the light fittings are really good. So let's take a little backtrack tour, try and get a little bit closer to the ramp and see if we can tour down without getting a shutdown or anything like that. We'll see. Fence line looks great, doesn't it? So there you can see a garage with things going on. Here you got this big hangar. A couple of guys stood in front of it. Oh, marshallers maybe, or certainly that guy seemed to want to marshal somebody. There you got a corporate jet sitting in the blast area. That's a blast fence where they do engine tests. And there's a couple of guys down there too. Again, some wonderful texturing on this. Another car. And it's pretty cool, isn't it? Just come out a little bit. So you've got the buses there fully detailed with the correct livery for the airport. So some static aircraft here. Well, let's get closer to the buildings here. So there you've got what looks like a security gate, or basically it's a fuel gate, I think. Air BP there. And it's good. The detail is lovely. I get a few judders, but nothing specific, nothing too bad. Another engineer down there. So we get close to the terminal. There's the arrivals door, and there you can see people, passengers inside, airside, and up on the roof. It's got an observation deck there. There's another building with people in it. So while we're here, let's get a look at the control tower. Again, you get to see the detail here. I mean, it looks great. The building's really nicely weathered. So there's the tower from the outside. I wonder if we got a control. I can't see anybody. Maybe they're sitting down. No, well, here's the inside of the control tower. Once again, we don't have any controllers. You know, I really don't get my head around this. You've got people in the terminals, people landside, I've seen them as we've gone past. A fully developed control tower, but no controllers. I find that amazing. So we continue along airside here to have a look. You know, it's great. It's very, very nice. I'm running at probably the limit of my graphics capability. I have a 5070 Ti card with 16 gigs of RAM, and I still get the occasional CPU or GPU message. So there you get a close look at the fence line. You've got a couple of private GA airplanes here. Very nice, beautifully done. As you can see, it just looks really good. Okay, so here we are inside the cockpit. We're parked on stand 8, and this is the view you'll get from the flight deck during the day. As I say, it's about 1:15 midday, and we're looking directly out, and you can see really quite a nice view out of the front here. So there's a view from the captain's side. And there's our friendly first officer out of uniform, sitting in the co-pilot seat. Okay, so a couple of close-up shots around the stand where my aircraft is. I've got the Phoenix A320 loaded here. There we are, looking down the airside road. As you can see, all done 3D detail. I mean, to be honest, the road concrete looks really good. You can even see the splits in the concrete on the road there. And looking down the other direction, and again you can see the Flughafen Innsbruck. Flughafen means airport, sitting on the top there. So just a very short tour across here is the upper level viewing port, where you've got some people there inside watching what's going on, which is really cool. It's very nice. Okay, so let's see if we can enter the building now. So we go across the outer area. And there we go. And so, as many of you know, I like to go and have a look at the flight boards and see how clear they are. And this isn't bad at all. It's beginning to fade a little bit, but it's not bad at all. The clock, of course, in the upper right is not linked to the sim, unfortunately. So this all looks pretty nice, doesn't it? You've got a restaurant there and a few people. And there we are looking outside. And just a quick view down the terrace. So let's go inside on the lower part. Well, this should be the airside lounge where the passengers wait to go out to the aircraft. And indeed it is. There you've got a shop and you've got various people sitting around there. It's good. It's really nice. We've got animated people on the upper level there. So we'll have a quick look upstairs. Got static people here. There's a security check on the right there. And you've got a young lad there going right through the scenery, as it were. But this is airside. You've got a couple of animated people. Looks great. There's the upper level looking out, and you can see my aircraft out there through the glass. So this appears to be the main airside lounge, from which people come through security, and they go out through the doors on the right for the various gates to board the aircraft. So here's a quick look at landside. There you can see the security check, people waiting to go through. You've got various stairs, some static people sitting around. There you've got check-in. Again, mostly static people. And just a close-up of the check-in desks. Once again, we don't have any check-in staff, even though we have passengers. But it all looks pretty nice. So here we are landside, got a couple of cars, a couple of people. Again, this is great, you know, it all adds to the ambience of the place. When you've got a couple of people, a few taxis or a few cars, there you've got people there to the left in the car park as well. Static buses there, we used to call them squeeze boxes when I lived in Germany, for obvious reasons. And again, it all looks pretty good. The detail's really good. You still have the odd people dotted around out here. And it looks very nice. There you've got the huge multi-storey car park. It looks great, it really does. No complaints. So down there is what we would call, that would be a control post, where security checks vehicles and people going into airside. Very similar to the job I did. And here we're landside of the other buildings. There's the fence line. Just as it should be. You can see the way the fence is built. It's a certain height, 2.9 meters, and the concrete stanchions are bent outwards, basically with razor wire on the top. Just basically to try and prevent people putting ladders on them and getting into airside. More vehicles here. Lots of detail. Really nice, just how an airport should look. And here we go across the blast screen with the aircraft below, and this is the big hangar, and this is what it looks like landside. Okay, so that was a reasonable tour of the airport facilities during the daytime. Let's bring the dusk up now and see what it looks like in the low light. Okay, so here we are just after 8 PM local time. It's September 2025, date of this video. And here's the main ramp, and doesn't it look good? You've got graduated lighting. The lights slowly came on about 5, maybe 6 minutes ago. You can see the blue airfield edge lights that denote the perimeter of the airfield. There's some very nice ambient lighting airside, and quite a lot of it as well landside. This place is going to be lovely to fly over in a helicopter, for example. Today we're looking down towards the threshold of runway 08 to the west. And just a view of some of the buildings to the north of the runway here, and you can see the traffic lights down there. and they're looking towards the east. You've got the runway 26 threshold here to the left. You've got a few green centerline taxiway lights which are going to help, and there you can see the city of Innsbruck there further to the east, and you've got the river, and you've got something going on up there on the mountain there which looks pretty impressive. Loads for you to explore. So let's go down to the ramp and have a close look and see what we're shown with down at the ramp side. So here's a view of the ramp. There's a wonderful glow on the lights, the way the lights are. It's a beautiful glow. You've also got lighting on the vehicles there, and yeah, it looks really good. The ambient lighting is really good. It's very atmospheric. Just a close-up look at the stand, and you can see the odd people sort of moving about inside the terminal, but the lighting is pretty impressive. There we are looking east down the airside road, and there's a view looking towards the west, and just a view of the aircraft parked up on the stand. It's really nice. So just looking at the taxiway, again plenty of signage, all nicely lit, and it glows into the ground as well. There you've got your stop bars. Let's have a look and see if those wigwags work. Okay, so you've got red lights that basically indicate you shouldn't enter the runway, and you've got these wigwag lights either side of the taxiway, but it would appear that they're static, or maybe they work when an aircraft actually pulls up. Obviously we're in the drone camera. There's the windsock to the right, and it's lit as well, which is another good thing. So just a brief tour airside on the ramp here. It looks pretty realistic, doesn't it? It looks really good. And you can see even the stairs on the aircraft are they light up as well. You get a clear view inside the terminal, to be honest much better than during the day. And it looks really good. The lighting's spectacular, I have to say. So we're having a look landside now. Not going to spend too much time, but I do want to see the effect of the lighting, because it does look really good. Not sure what's going up there on that going on up there on the mountain. I know there's a ski jump somewhere. Maybe that's it, I don't know, could well be. There's the car park, beautifully lit. The car models are excellent, and again you've got this ambient lighting that's so well done that it gives you a really nice effect. It's pretty realistic, to tell you the truth. Looks great. Once again you have people down there. It's really good. I could go on, but I don't really want this. This video is already going to be pretty long, but there's so much else to see that I'm not going to be able to show you in this video. But it looks wonderful to explore it. It really does. But there's some real attention to detail here. So here's the stadion. There you've got tennis courts. Well, it looks like a little restaurant down there. It's pretty spectacular. Very nice. So before we go to night time, just a couple of things to mention. This airport operates from 06:30 to 8 p.m. local time. Certain operators can come in between 6 p.m. and 11 p.m. local time, but between 10 p.m. and 11 p.m. local time only arrivals are granted. So essentially after 11 p.m. unless it's emergencies or certain aircraft that are exempt under the rules, after 11 p.m. essentially this airport doesn't operate. So operations begin at 06:30 the following day. Alright, so that was a brief tour during dusk, and beautiful with the way it's shown. Let's have a look at night time now. Okay, 10:30 p.m. local time in the evening, and as you can see, the darkness is truly upon us. We still have plenty of good lighting on the ramp, so anybody coming in here, just getting in before the 11 o'clock curfew, should do perfectly well. So there we are looking west, and there you can see the green and yellow turn-off lights, and you can also see the glow from the various taxiway signs and the blue airfield edge lights. So getting around here on and off the runway shouldn't be a problem. And there we are looking east towards the city. You got the moon in the far distance, runway 26 threshold to the left, and you've got that whatever's going on top of the mountain there. Really, really nice. Okay, so here's the nighttime view from inside the flight deck. We're on stand 8 looking out towards the terminal airside here. This is the view that you'll see if you manage to get in before the 11 p.m. curfew. And once again a view from the captain's side. I really do love the way those lights glow. It looks so much more realistic. And once again looking out through the first officer's side. So once again a couple of views around the ramp for you. Particularly like the way you've got the inside of the aircraft is lit and the stairs are lit. Everywhere where there's light, the ambience looks really good. Again here you can see this little facility where the wires attached to each of the stairs that prevents anybody accidentally walking in towards the engine or under the wing. A beautiful view inside the terminal from airside. Looks very good there. And there we are looking back at the aircraft with a view down to the airside road. A quick look at the control tower, and there you've got some beautiful lighting inside, and the tower's quite well lit. And you've got the mandatory red light on top of the tower, which is a legal requirement under IATA regulations. Just a pity we don't have a controller. Just would finish that off. And a quick nighttime view inside the tower, which looks really good, I have to say. Very detailed. It's crying out for a controller. And a quick view out of the glass looking landside. And a couple of quick views landside while we're at it. You know, the lighting is great. Wherever you look, it's wonderful. It's a wonderful job. There's certainly improvements in Flight Sim 2024. To be honest, I don't know if I will ever get the chance to fly in this sim. I'm still struggling with my controls in Flight Sim 2020, and I've got really till the end of this month to try and get that sorted out. But 2020 visually, when it works, it looks great. I mean, that looks great. It really does. We even got a guy there next to his car in the car park, and these are the little touches that make it, you know, worth its while. I just can't see why you can put a guy next to the car park, but you can't put a controller in the control tower. Nevertheless, that's my opinion. So there's another high level view looking east. And there we are looking towards the southwest, and I think that looks so good there. It really does. Okay, time to bring up the dawn and have a look and see what it looks like at the dawn. Bear in mind there are a lot of mountains around, so we may not see the red glow on the building that much. We'll see. Okay, 7:20 in the morning, and this is the point where the sun's coming up behind me and you can see part of the glow on the buildings. You wouldn't get the red glow the higher the sun goes, and the lower it is you won't see it because of the mountains behind us. But it looks really good. We're looking to the west. It looks fantastic, doesn't it? So there's a grand view looking northwest over the river towards the airport from landside to airside. And there we are looking east with the sun coming up over the mountains and the city further in towards the east. Okay, 8:15 in the morning, time to wrap up this review. Okay, so this is just my second review in Flight Sim 2024. I'm still finding my way and feeling around the controls. I do get the occasional graphics message coming up, so I think, really at the limit of my graphics. But I've kind of done that to show you what it looks like as best as I can show it. But anyhow, my second review for Flight Sim 2024, it's time to wrap it up and discuss this. Do I like it? Yeah, to be honest, I can see the improvements and the changes from Flight Sim 2020, and if I could fly in here as well as I used to be able to do with 2020, I would be really happy. And I know there are a number of people here who are able to use 2024 to its fullest extent and are enjoying it. Is this the best version? Yeah, it probably is in my opinion, but remember I'm new to the sim, so maybe you might have another idea about this, but it certainly beats the Orbix version for Flight Sim 2020, good as that was. Still pretty good. Price wise, okay, it's probably about the right price. Remember, the prices I've quoted include tax, and some places in the world where you guys will buy your scenery, the tax is going to be a lot less than ours at 20%. But no, it's good. Plenty of good modelling, texturing. The airport looks exactly as it should. They've not gone completely to town. Some of the things I'd like to see, I mean, you've got to put a controller in the control tower. I mean, they've done a marvellous job on the way it looks, especially in the darkness hours, and you don't have a controller. Yet they've managed to put a guy next to his car in some obscure landside car park. So I would like to see that. You need touchdown zone lighting at either end of the runway. That's missing. It's on the charts, but it's not in the sim. But those are the only two little minor details that I can think of that you probably that would improve the scenery. Visually, it's wonderful. I like it a lot, and it's probably about the right price. But if you haven't bought it and you're looking to get INNSBRUCK, this is certainly the one to get. But you might be wanting to maybe just wait a little while. Inibuilds may well have a sale coming up, as indeed they do from time to time, and this could be on a sale price so you can get it a bit cheaper. But I think it's a really good scenery, very, very well worth the purchase, and visually stunning, as indeed INNSBRUCK is. It's a stunning place to fly to. So there you are, folks. It's INNSBRUCK Airport in Austria, Lima Oscar Whiskey India. It's the Hayware scenery from developer Inibuilds, and you're looking at version 1.0.1 for the PC version of Flight Simulator 2024. This is my second 2024 review. The scenery is also available for Flight Sim 2020. Download comes in at 3.39 gigs and it installs at 5.32 gigs. Currently it's only available from Inibuilds. They haven't got it for sale anywhere else. It's priced at €20.76, which equates to $25.15 US, or £17.99 UK. The US and the Euro prices are estimates taken from the UK pound, and they include tax and VAT at 20%, which of course could be different depending on which country you're in. Very, very nice scenery, visually great. I've got some work to do, I think, to sort of fine-tune my graphics so that I can get the best without either crashing the sim or without getting the dreaded message coming up every few minutes. But I think I've done pretty well. That's it for this week. I'm sorry it's been a bit late. Look out for next week when also we will do another 2024 scenery and another 2020 scenery product for you to look at. So thanks a lot, guys. My name's Lee, your virtual airline pilot, saying bye for now. Thank you for joining me. Hope you've enjoyed this. I will see you in the next review. Take care, fly safe, see you soon. Bye bye.